Do you think the SEC might have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory? Moreover, why was 50 million XRP moved out of its wallet? Now to our big question for the day: can Ripple win against the SEC in the Supreme Court? Stick with me, guys, to learn more. If this sounds like something of much interest to you, be sure to check out this new video starting now. Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel, where we talk about the latest updates on XRP and the cryptocurrency world in general. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, we happily send you a special welcome. We invite you to hit on the notification bell so you never miss another video. We are announcing that this channel has a giveaway of 200 XRP. To stand the chance of participating, all you have to do is simply subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment with the hashtag XRP, and the winner will be announced on the 28th of February. Attorney John E. Deaton, as previously reported, had asserted that the only victory the United States Securities and Exchange Commission would likely claim in its case against Ripple is that the blockchain payments company sold XRP as a security from 2013 to 2017. In a lengthy Twitter thread yesterday, the lawyer representing over 75,000 XRP holders as a friend of the court in the case gives more insight into the reasoning behind his claims. In the thread, Deaton explains that the market regulator fails to apply a specific Howey analysis by specifying transactions that represent security offerings. Instead, he says the market regulator attempts to use what he describes as the equivalent of a but-for test to claim all XRP sales represent securities. According to Deaton, the SEC's theory is that because Ripple put in the effort to help create a secondary market for XRP, all XRP constitute securities regardless of the circumstances of the sale. The lawyer bases this on a claim made by the SEC in its summary judgment motion. Defendants do not dispute that they offered and sold XRP in exchange for money, which suffices to establish the investment of money aspect of the Howey test, the SEC wrote. Defendants' statements and efforts as to XRP establish the other aspects of the Howey test as a matter of law. For context, the but-for test is commonly used in tort and criminal cases to show culpability by proving that an outcome results from a party's action and would otherwise not be the case if the party acted differently. In addition, Deaton points out that the SEC puts undue focus on the token, XRP, to sidestep a proper Howey analysis. The lawyer shows that the market regulator argues that XRP represents both the investment contract and the common enterprise. The lawyer faults this, noting that it is not how Howey is applied, as the circumstances of the sale usually determine if an offering represents an investment contract. Recall that Deaton has often emphasized that the underlying asset of an investment contract cannot, on its own, represent a security. Notably, per a report from the attorney, he convinced the judge of this in the LBRY case, forcing the SEC to commit to it on record. Consequently, the attorney believes that SEC could have had a straightforward and winnable case if they had conducted a proper Howey analysis guided by the circumstances of the sale, which will narrow things down to specific transactions, not all XRP sales, as it currently claims. This is why I said the SEC may have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, Deaton wrote in the thread, disclosing that he points out to Judge Annalisa Torres that the SEC's claims in the Ripple case are possibly the broadest and the farthest reaching the regulator has made in any enforcement action. As both parties have submitted all required briefs in the case and await a court ruling, speculations about the possible outcomes have dominated conversations. Deaton has expressed that a jury trial is likely. We will be discussing more of this later on in the video. The XRP Ledger has recently experienced substantial growth, with more than 2,000 tokens integrated into the network within the past year. This noteworthy uptick in adoption has persisted despite the ongoing legal dispute between Ripple and the US SEC. According to the prominent XRP influencer Ari, a significant driver behind this exponential growth has been implementing the new token standard, which introduced the concept of NFTs to XRPL. According to Ari, the disclosure came from Boris Allergant, head of DeFi markets at Ripple Labs. Recent data from XRPL shows that the 2,000 token additions in the past year have resulted in a surge to 8,356 tokens currently on XRPL. Ari touted this as a growth that rivals other notable blockchains such as Solana. Two of the most prominent additions in the past year are the Corium, Core, and the Sologenic, Solo, tokens, which secure the top two positions of the biggest tokens by 24-hour trade volume. These tokens also have some of the largest market caps on XRPL, with Core having a valuation of $329 million and Solo $64 million. The XRP Ledger has also seen a surge of non-fungible tokens, NFTs, since native NFT functionality went live on the network last October. Chief among these NFTs are the Spunks, Expector, and OXP tokens, which have enjoyed massive adoption rates in the past few months. Currently, the global token market cap on XRPL is currently $530.4 billion. Moreover, XRP, the network's native token, continues fighting against the bears despite its unique situation. XRP's market capitalization recently soared over the $20 billion mark as the asset seeks to establish a position above the 40 cents price point. XRP is trading for 39 cents, down 2.2% in the past 24 hours. Furthermore, XRP whales remain active these past few weeks. Over the last 24 hours, one of them has withdrawn over 50 million XRP from the Binance crypto trading giant. This could indicate the growing interest of whales in this cryptocurrency as, this year, the community expects the Ripple SEC case to be over. The total amount moved from the crypto trading venue with the largest volume constitutes 50 million XRP, which is equated to $19,700,000 according to popular crypto tracking platform Whale Alert. The tracking service shared that the funds were sent from a Binance-linked wallet to an anonymous crypto address not affiliated with any crypto exchange. This could be withdrawal to a cold storage wallet after a recent purchase. In the comments thread, however, a Twitter user jokingly stated that these are David Schwartz and Garlinghouse continuing to manipulate the price, Ripple's CTO and CEO. Additionally, 30,200,000 XRP were transferred from Bitso exchange to an unknown wallet, and 34 million XRP tokens were moved from one anonymous address to another. These were worth approximately $12 million and $13.5 million in fiat. A day earlier, U.Today reported that two massive XRP transfers were spotted by Whale Alert. They carried 244,500,000 XRP and 264,500,000 XRP, approximately 510 million XRP tokens in all. Both transactions were made by Ripple Labs behemoth, according to XRP-focused data website Deaton. However, the transactions were conducted between internal wallets that belong to the crypto giant. Earlier this month, the aforementioned source drew attention to several other XRP transactions carrying similar amounts of crypto as Ripple, moving large chunks of XRP with the final destination likely being to sell them on an exchange. Now to our big question for the day: can Ripple win against the SEC in the Supreme Court? Attorney John E. Deaton has expressed confidence that Ripple can win against the United States Securities and Exchange Commission in the U.S. Supreme Court. The crypto law founder expressed this view in a tweet yesterday in response to Ripple General Counsel Stuart Alderete. Notably, Alderete pointed out that the SEC has lost 4 out of its last 5 cases in the apex court, hinting at Ripple's readiness to go the distance in its fight against the SEC's claims that all XRP sales represent unregistered security offerings. Deaton, in his response to Alderete, expressed complete faith in the ability of the apex court to put a stop to the SEC's perceived overreach. The lawyer representing thousands of XRP holders as a friend of the court in the case expressed this view, citing the West Virginia v. Environmental Protection Agency case, asserting that the Ripple motion for summary judgment is already a well-written appellate brief. For context, West Virginia versus EPA was a case related to the options available to the agency to regulate carbon emissions by existing plants. For the conglomerate of coal mining corporations that fought the case, the EPA was overstepping its congressionally allowed bounds by trying to regulate emissions from existing plants by instructing them to switch to cleaner energy sources entirely instead of through emission-reducing technologies. On June 30, 2022, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of West Virginia. For proponents, it represents a decisive win against regulatory overreach. For detractors, it means a significant blow to the Biden administration's carbon emission reduction goals. Notably, the Ripple case still has some ways to go before it can reach the apex court. At the district court, it will have to make it to the circuit, which represents the first level of appeal, before it can get to the Supreme Court. All of these will take years. Meanwhile, there is no guarantee that it will make it this far. Deaton has noted that the SEC could seek a settlement to stay a potential trial or potential appeals. Currently, the case over whether XRP represents unregistered security, which has gone on for over 2 years, is awaiting a decision from Judge Annalisa Torres, as both parties have filed all required briefs. Deaton has recently expressed that the SEC has a slim chance of a favorable summary judgment decision. So we come to the end of this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Also, you can help enlighten others just like you have been enlightened by sharing this video to as many people as possible. Let's get this news everywhere, guys. If you are a true cryptocurrency fan, don't miss any of our content. See you tomorrow to talk about the latest news that concerns us all as a community.